The SEC unanimously recommend Honorable Sunday Udeh-Okoye as a candidate to complete the term of office of the National Secretary.
That any meeting convened or attended by Honorable Udeh-Okoye remains invalid and infected by the virus of fundamental illegality from judgment of High Court. So you will not go to Atiku, say you have Southeast. I am the National Secretary of the party. I'm from the Southeast. What meeting will you convene when I'm not there? Assuming today I'm no longer National Secretary. I remember a member of caucus. I remember a member of the Board of Trustees. I remember a member of NEC. By my position. Talk less of Southeast.
It is my hope that once that exercise is done, that our party is going to support and honor and indeed respect the position of the Southeast.
We will obey the order of court. We will follow the processes and ensure full compliance to the pronouncement of the Court of Appeal, because that is the position as at today.
In the event that our position is not promptly implemented by the party, the Southeast PDP as a family will be compelled to reconsider our relationship with PDP going forward.
Power, position, party supremacy. In Nigerian politics, these are not just words, they are weapons. And right now, within the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, one position has triggered a storm. The position of the National Secretary, a position often overlooked. Now the heart of a brutal political tug of war. At the center of this crisis is Senator Samuel Anyanwu, Udeh-Okoye, Nyesom, Wike, and a host of others. Samuel Anyanwu, the man who insists he still holds the position, and those who want him out. This isn't just a leadership dispute, it is a proxy war for control of the PDP's future. So how did the party for National Secretary position become a full-blown political crisis for the PDP? And what does it reveal about the cracks threatening to tear the PDP apart? Let's delve into it. It's begun like many political conflicts in Nigeria, with ambition. Senator Samuel Anyanwu, the PDP's National Secretary, had a job: keep the party's engine running. But in 2023, he made a move that changed everything. He declared his position to run for governor of Imo State. At first, party leaders didn't object. After all, many viewed him as a strong contender from the APC's candidates, Hope Uzodinma. But here was the problem. Could he campaign for governor and still function as the PDP's National Secretary? Some said no. In fact, according to the party's guideline, once a national office holder enters a primary election, they must vacate their position or at least step aside. But Senator Anyanwu disagreed. He remained in his office, ran for governor and lost. After that defeat, he returned, still claiming to be the National Secretary. And that's when the real war began. Because of many in the PDP, this wasn't just about rules, it was about trust and power. A faction within the party, especially in the Southeast, believed that Anyanwu had abandoned his duty. That during the crucial 2023 election cycle, the PDP lacked direction because the National Secretary was busy campaigning instead of organizing. So they demanded change. In 2024, the Southeast Zonal Executive of the People's Democratic Party nominated a replacement, S.K.E. Udeh-Okoye, a former national youth leader.
The SEC unanimously recommend Honorable Sunday Udeh-Okoye as a candidate to complete the term of office of the National Secretary.
It is my hope that once that exercise is done, that our party is going to support and honor and indeed respect the position of the Southeast.
Consequently, the BOT, by adopting the report, recognizes Honorable Sunday Udeh-Okoye as the substantive National Secretary of the PDP in full obedience to the declaratory judgment of the High Court of Enugu, as also upheld by the Court of Appeal, in finally setting Thursday, March 13, 2025 as a date for our much anticipated National Executive Committee meeting.
But Anyanwu refused to step down. He claimed that the nomination was illegal, and he insisted that he was still the rightful occupant of the office. At that point, the stage was set for a dramatic showdown.
I campaigned. I went to all the states campaigning for this position, and I was elected. And my position is for 4 years, with the Constitution guarantees. And the next convention is by August or October. I will have just 4 months to go. Why would you want to put the party into a turmoil? Why would you sacrifice me? And a man who has been rejected by his people and affirmed by court is attending a meeting. What kind of operation is that? And you think I will sit and watch? It's not about making sacrifice. It's about doing the right thing. It's only when you do the right thing that somebody can make a sacrifice. You are going to INEC and have affirmed to you. You went and everything and said. So what's wrong with say he's national secretary of the party? And what will I do between now to convention to enjoy the party, if at all? And why will I be irresponsible to enjoy a party that gives me a platform? Some of these people have left the party and come back. Some of them came to this party midway. But I've been with this party since 1999 to date. I've never gone out and come back. I've remained. In my state, we've had governors, when Hakim came through PPA, we are PDP, we converted him back to PDP as a governor. Rochas was after me there. I never left the party. For 8 years, Rochas was governor. I ran for Senate and defeated his candidate as a state governor. I defeated his senatorial candidate before I went to Senate. From House of Assembly, I went straight to Senate. That's how my popularity is in my state. So, for me, I don't see the reason why we should injure this party. And that's why I want to know, is there anything going on they don't want to tell us? Or is it what I'm thinking is what it is?
Behind every political crisis in Nigeria, there are always godfathers. This one is no different. As the fight over the secretary position raged, eyes are turned to the two most powerful figures in the PDP, Atiku Abubakar and Nyesom Wike, two men, once allies, now rivals, locked in a quiet, deadly battle for the soul of the party. Here's where it gets interesting. Samuel Anyanwu is believed to be aligned with Nyesom Wike. During the 2023 presidential election, Wike led the G5 rebellion that refused to support Atiku's candidacy. Anyanwu's loyalty, it seems, was never with Atiku. So when the Imo governorship ticket was handed to him, reportedly with Wike's backing, it triggered alarms in the Atiku camp. Fast forward to 2024, and many Atiku-aligned leaders want Anyanwu out. To them, he is part of Wike's machine, sabotaging the PDP from within, replacing him with Udeh-Okoye, a way of weakening Wike's grip and reasserting Atiku's dominance. But Wike doesn't give up power easily. He fought back. Anyanwu held a press conference, dismissed the replacement as illegal, and warned of outsiders trying to hijack the party. He even sued the PDP, dragging the party he serves to court, a move that many saw as a final betrayal. Inside the PDP headquarters in Wadata Plaza, the atmosphere grew tense. Meetings became battlegrounds. Allegiance were tested. And all over one office, the national secretary position. But what's really at stake here? Control of the party's future, especially ahead of 2027 election. If Wike's influence stays intact, he could dictate the next presidential primary and whether the PDP will be able to fight the APC come 2027 at the polls. If Atiku reclaims dominance, he could mount one last bid for the presidency, and that's why this secretary position is in a small fight. It is a proxy war for 2027.
Talked about leadership. Even at the family level, if we don't have good leadership, that family is doomed. What has happened to PDP basically is that of leadership, lack of capacity on the part of the leadership of the party. How can people, they have held sacred meeting, the FCT minister mentioned it. He said there was a meeting in Lagos, he was invited, they had agreement in Lagos, there was another meeting in Abuja, in the house of a former Senate president, where those agreements were consolidated. If you are sincere to the people, and when we were called, former governors and current governors, about 2 weeks ago to a meeting, none of this was before us. Nobody knew that there were sacred meetings where agreement was reached with the FCT minister. If you engage somebody in an agreement, you invite somebody and you engage him, it is only honorable that you honor that agreement. If you're not interested, why do that in the first place? So I don't blame the FCT minister for what he said. It's dishonorable for me to call you and agree on something with you, Segun Abati, at my level, and then I reneged without reference to you. So I don't blame him. It is the lack of capacity of the leadership. And the leadership has not been straight with party followers. We are major stakeholders. If we're called to a meeting by the current governors under the leadership of the PDP Governors Forum Chairman, Bala Mohammed, and that we were not aware that they had had 2 meetings with Nyesom at Wike and had had some agreement with him, it means that we're hoodwinked. And I think that is not right. If people at this level we engage in those kind of activities, it's very unfortunate. And so I don't blame Wike for what he's doing. There was no need in the first place for them to engage in agreement with him at the expense of other people. Other stakeholders were not consulted in those agreements. How can you go and engage in such agreement knowing that that agreement that you will not likely fulfill?
By mid-2024, the PDP found itself in an uncharted territory. A court case filed by Anyanwu, 2 men claiming to be national secretary, and a divided national working committee unsure what side to take. Meanwhile, the Southeast PDP, especially in Enugu, Anambra, and Abia, stood firmly behind Udeh-Okoye. To them, Anyanwu had outlived his political usefulness. They argued, if you contest for governor and lost, don't return and expect business as usual. But legal technicalities clouded the issue. Anyanwu claimed he never resigned. The PDP constitution, vague in parts, didn't help matters. Some National Working Committee members feared taking a position that could violate court orders. Others simply played both sides, waiting to see who would win. Then came the warning signs. Party members began threatening mass resignation in the Southeast. State chapters delayed meetings. Even PDP lawmakers in the National Assembly stayed there gobbling. How can we preach unity to Nigerians? One senator reportedly asked, when we can't resolve a simple issue in our party. The crisis was beginning to spill out, and voters were watching. For a party trying to build after a devastating 2023 loss, this was a nightmare scenario. Instead of focusing on reforms, reconciliation, and grassroots rebuilding, the PDP was tearing itself apart over one office. But as every Nigerian knows, small cracks, when ignored, become earthquake.
A lot of them felt that after he tried to become governor and he didn't succeed, that he should have stepped aside. Because, look, let's face it, a position is not meant to be occupied by an individual forever.
Okay.
And some people have made moves to say, okay, let this thing even go to another part of the Southeast. That is what people like Governor Mba is fighting for. That look, let it go to someone else from another part of the Southeast.
Okay.
But it's like every issue about the PDP now continues to polarize the party. The South-South Congress of the party has effectively polarized the party. The North Central Congress of the party has effectively polarized the party. The matter of the national secretaryship of the party has effectively polarized the party. There's no issue. Even the matter of whether they should join the coalition or not has effectively polarized the party. Some of the National Assembly members do not agree with their governors on that matter. And some are saying, no, even if we are going to join the coalition, it should be led by the party. Which was what Senator Shekarau said at that time, not something that, okay, when some noises being made by individuals you know, and who are being supported by elements on social media who do not have electoral value. So the party has a lot of issues to deal with. This NEC, for example, why is it difficult for PDP to agree to have a meeting and the meeting takes place? This NEC was postponed 5 times. If you are struggling to organize NEC meeting, how would you be able to organize convention? And the convention of the party is the highest decision-making organ of the party. Not just PDP, but even the APC. That's where the biggest decisions are taken. And it gets ratified. So in this case, the stipulations are clear. Anyanwu cannot become the secretary of the party forever. Politicians are quite different from some of us. Honestly, if people harass me, even 100 of the, if I get 100 of the quantum of harassment that Anyanwu has received because he is not prepared to give up that position, I will have left a long time ago.
Let's zoom out at this point. Why does this matter? Because Nigeria's democracy depends on a strong opposition, and right now, the PDP is the largest opposition party. But without unity, it cannot challenge the APC juggernaut. The National Secretary crisis reveals a deeper problem. The PDP is yet to define its identity post-2023. Is it still a national party or a collection of regional warlords? Will it rally around a single presidential candidate in 2027 or fracture again like in 2023? Governor Wike still holds power in several states and controls powerful loyalists. Atiku remains the most recognizable face of the PDP. And new figures like Udeh-Okoye represent a younger generation tired of endless factional wars. But if the PDP cannot resolve a basic leadership issue like the national secretary position, how can it offer Nigerians an alternative in 2027? Political analysts warn the PDP must learn from the APC's current dominance. Tinubu's campaign is consolidating power. Governors are defecting. The opposition at this point must act fast or become irrelevant. So what are the possible outcomes of this secretary crisis? Scenario 1. The PDP leadership formally rectifies Udeh-Okoye, ignoring Anyanwu's protests and bracing for the legal fallout. This strengthens Atiku's camp but provokes Wike further. Scenario 2. A compromise is brokered. Anyanwu steps aside, quietly, perhaps offered a different role, and Wike is placated with other concessions. Scenario 3. The crisis drags on into 2026, dividing the party ahead of its presidential primary, and the PDP enters 2027 even weaker than in 2023. Each scenario carries a cost, and time is running out for the PDP.
We unanimously agreed and nominated the former youth leader of the party, Right Honorable S.K.E. to be our nominee for the position of the National Secretary of our great party. This party should carefully look through even other precedents that have been set in replacement of National Working Committee members. We are asking you to look at a zone who has been the bedrock and backbone of the PDP, a zone who has delivered all their National Assembly members, all governors to the PDP in the past, who is eager to redeem his past glory.
The battle over the PDP National Secretary may seem small, but in politics, symbols matter. This is about more than one man. It is about what kind of party the PDP wants to be. A party of rules or personalities. A party that resolves internal disputes or allows them to fester until it's too late. Samuel Anyanwu's refusal to step aside has exposed the longer festering wounds. But maybe, just maybe, this crisis is a chance for rebirth, a chance for the PDP to clean house, define its values, and present a united front before 2027. Because if it fails, it won't be a lost election. It could be the end of the PDP as we know. Now we turn over to you. Do you think Senator Anyanwu should step down? Is this crisis truly about rules or just power play between Wike and Atiku? Can the PDP survive the latest storm? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to like, subscribe and click the bell icon because Nigerian politics never sleeps and neither should you. Stay informed, stay sharp, more episodes coming soon on this channel. Once again, thank you so much for watching.